What is up guys, it's Actron. This is CrisisBeta version 1.5 and today I'm going to be showing you its features and how to use it. Originally CrisisBeta was made as a production rig for multiple animations I had planned, but due to some flaws with it and things I didn't really like, I ended up scrapping the rig and working on a V2. So given that, I didn't want the rig to go to waste, so that's why I'm releasing it. The rig is very lightweight and has some great features, so let's get into it. Firstly, the rig has a new Python menu, as all my rigs do, except the only difference now is that rather than the actual Python script being installed in the .blend, it's installed as an add-on. So simply what you do when you download the rig is you go to File, User Preferences, Add-ons, install add-on from File, navigate to the CrisisBeta folder. There will be a CrisisBeta.py. Click that, it'll install, enable it, save user preferences, and then you're good to go. Now, if the menu shows up and anything you do in the menu doesn't affect the rig at all, just restart Blender and you'll be good to go. Why is it such a good thing that it's an add-on? Because it means if you append the rig, you won't have to install the custom Python menu for things to work. It'll already be there. So let's jump into some features. Firstly, we've got these tabs now, so just to keep it less cluttered, you can open and close these to show different stuff. So for now, I'll just open them all. So firstly, we've got a skin changer. Now, usually what you'd have to do is you'd have to unpack your skin file, go image, replace image, find your image. You don't have to do that on this rig. All you have to do is go over here, click this button here, and then find a skin file you want. So let's see, just let me, let's just go with this, okay. So as you can see, it's changed the skin, looks pretty good, and you may notice that it's repacked the skin. So say you make yourself a preset being a rig that's been extruded, then when you send it over to a friend, it'll have the skin packed in. You don't have to worry about packing it, so that's pretty good. I'll just let me undo that. Now, one thing to note is that there is oh, well, we'll get to that later. Next up, we have an SSS button here. So SSS is Subsurface Scattering, which is basically where sort of light sort of seeps through the edges, as you can sort of see there. So if you don't want it on, just click that, it'll turn off, bam. Next up, we have an anti-lag. So by default this is on, but if you don't want it on, you can turn it off and it will be a bit laggier. So that basically just turns down the subsurf. So yeah. Next up, we have our rig scale. So you've got custom, which is what the scale currently is, and you can adjust it. And then you've got rig pack. So if you're importing a world from Mindwaves, or you're importing blocks from, for instance, the Buckcape rig pack, use this. It's the correct scale. Otherwise, you can just scale this down. I don't really mind. Next up, we have a restrict select. So right now, if you try and select any of the body parts, it's not going to work. Just turn that off. You'll be able to do that. If the Python menu isn't showing up on the side, it's because you have an object selected, not the armature. The armature needs to be selected for you to see the Python menu options. Now just keep in mind there is an extruded, there's extruded hair here, so you might just want to delete that when you're changing the skin and extruding. Excuse me. Next up, we've got female mode, so that just makes the body have some curves and stuff, and the legs are a bit slimmer, Then we've got Alex arms. So sorry about that, guys. Just a little bug I just stumbled upon, so I just fixed that real quick. So Alex arms, we've got extrude, which just shows body parts which have shrunk UVs. So as you can see with these, UVs are shrunk. So that means when you extrude it, the edges of, like the rims of what you've extruded won't show like a different texture. So when you're extruding, click this on, use these body parts to extrude, you'll be fine. Then we get to face options. So firstly, as you may notice, the rig has no facial controls. Now, well, no like mouth controls that you can see. So you've got simple ones, which are just these, which work pretty well. You use these like that, blah blah blah. Then you've got advanced ones, which just show like all of them. And then you've got different mouth types. So we've got square, which is where it's sort of like this, rectangular, square, whatever you want to call it. Curvy, which is like this. So it's got, it's like pointy. And then we've got smooth, which is sort of like round, I guess you could say. And then you've got an eye tracker, which is this thing which will appear. And that allows you to have it over here, and no matter where the head is, it'll track to there. So that's all good. Okay, let's get on to the rig itself. So firstly, we've got a root bone, which controls the whole rig. Then we've got IK arms, IK legs. We've got shoulder bones for moving the shoulders up and down. We've got this bone. There's stretch, which is controlled with these things here. We've also got fancy feet on the legs. You can turn that off with these little things here, just like that. There's IK poles, so that's great. Then we've got these. There's pelvis, so that just controls like the whole upper part but doesn't affect the legs. There's a flip bone, so if you're doing flips, then it'll control the whole rig from the origin, from like the center of mass. Then we've got torso bends, which are bendy bones, so that'll give some really good results. And same with the hips, bendy bones. We have bendy bone wrists, which look really good in my opinion. Really nice and smooth. Again, we've got stretch on both of these. There's stretch on the head. Then we've got this jaw here, so you can control that with this bone. That's pretty good. We've got the head like this. We've got this, which is your eye move, so you can move the eyes up and down. The mouth will follow, so that's pretty good. You don't have to worry about moving the mouth. We've got master eyelid controllers, so you move them to the side, like on the rest of my rigs. Rotate them to curve it. Don't worry about the curve looking funny, it's just because I've got anti-lag on. It'll look nice and smooth when it's rendered. You've got pupil controls here, so that's pretty good. Then moving on, people are probably going to think that this is your mouse controller. It's not. This is like an expression controller, as seen here. So you move it to one side, that'll put the other side up, you can frown it, blah blah blah. So then, where's the mouse controller? That's this here. So you move it, it'll open, widen, shut, whatever. Then you've got your mouth move, which will move your mouth around. Then if you look inside here, you've got your teeth controller. Then the teeth themselves actually have bones, so if you want to adjust those, you can click on there. You've got this, which controls your eyes. These are your blink controls, so those will widen and close your eyes. You'll notice they're not closing all the way. I'll explain why in a second. These are your eyebrow controllers, much like the eyelid ones. You move them to the side, they like rotate the actual bone, it'll curve the eyebrow. Then this actual eye move, if you rotate this, it'll also blink, so if you want to blink both eyes, just makes it easier. So guys, that is pretty much it for the rig itself. Lastly, I just want to explain how to extrude it. So if you click on extrude and turn off restrict select, I'll delete this so that I can show you. All you do is, I like to duplicate mine, you don't, you can just move it straight down. I press slash, which will just limit your view to only this object. Hit tab, which will take you into edit mode. Click A to unselect everything. Then press C and just hold down left click and you'll start selecting faces. If you want to unselect faces, it's shift click. So just select all of the faces you don't want to be extruded. So all the ones you want to delete. Once you've selected all those, press X, faces, select all, turn the mean crease up to 1, and then basically you add a solidify even thickness, and then just adjust this thickness to whatever you want. You will need to set it to minus, plus just goes in, so minus that to whatever thickness you want. Then just press slash again, or numpad slash, sorry, and then that's extruded. Do that with the rest of the body parts to extrude whatever you want, and then just turn this off if you don't want the extrusions to show, and you're good to go. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for today. Hope you enjoyed the rig, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.